You see the new pope is...
Oh, we
We have been.
Okay.
Good evening. It's 7 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and get started. So if everybody will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Michaela, you want to go ahead and do roll call?
Yes. Counselor Thomas?
Aye.
Counselor Hammer?
Here.
Counselor Asbell?
Here.
Counselor Langdon?
Here.
Counselor Maston? Here. Counselor Nicholson? Here. And Counselor Aguirre? Thank you.
Okay. Is there any items or anything the public wants to bring up that is not already on the agenda? Okay, seeing none. Next item on the agenda is our special request. So the first one is a street closure request to Paul Alumni Reunion Weekend, good old-fashioned fraternity party. Okay.
Sorry, I've never stood at one of these before. Okay. Hi, I'm Amberly Davidson. I am the Assistant to the Vice President for Development and Alumni Engagement and Manager of Presidential Events at DePauw. I want to say thank you for hearing us today, and thank you for Michaela to getting us on the schedule. We are hosting the Good Old Fashioned Fraternity Party from 10 a.m. to 11:45 p.m. on Saturday, June 7th. It is in front of the SAE House and Bowman Park. We're requesting Locust Street to be closed from Hannah to Elm in order to ensure the safety of drivers and reunion attendees. Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions for them?
I was just wondering if she was a member of the SAE.
Would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, good.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is a street closure request. Main Street, Greencastle, First Friday. I don't think anyone's here from them.
Kate's not able to be here this evening, or she had some family matters to take care of.
So I know that right now there's a waiting list for vendors for First Friday. So all of the spots that we currently have are all filled. And so they would like to extend the footprint of First Friday down Indiana Street, from Franklin down to Indiana, kind of on the side where the mural is, and to be able to add some more spots there. So everything else will stay the same except adding this additional block. Yes, they will make sure that the parking lot stays open because that's a major parking lot for that event.
Yeah, she even said in her email she would make sure that there's access to all the public lots.
And by 4 o'clock, is the senior center pretty well emptied out?
Yeah. I think they're close to 3. Yep.
I'll second.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. The next item we have is department head reports, and I'm going to go ahead and ask Andrew to come on up. He's going to talk about some work that we're going to do on the famous Fraser and North College Street. And he's going to talk about what's going to happen next week with that. And so I'll let him talk about that street.
So I'm probably going to shut Fraser Street down for at least a whole day. Can't wait to fix the drain pipe there so we don't have no water there. And then I can actually put hot mix in there so it'll be no potholes in that little area and it won't flood or wash anything away. And I'm planning on doing that Wednesday, weather permitting. And we're going to start probably around 5 o'clock in the morning because we're going to scrape the gravel off so I can put my blacktop. And I'm supposed to get a hold of Cash Concrete so I can get some concrete. And they got my blacktop whenever I'm ready. So I'm hoping to get it all done in one day.
Good deal.
Is there a collapsed line too, and that's going to be replaced, and, okay.
Yeah, we gotta put
All in that one day,
I'm hoping.
okay. And how long does it need to cure after that?
If I can get done early in the morning and get my stuff in there, I can probably open it up probably around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, somewhere around there.
That afternoon?
Yeah.
Okay,
Because I'm
so-
gonna order the concrete pretty fast.
Okay,
Then I'm just gonna put 2 inches of asphalt down. And then we're gonna go down side of Fraser Street with some hot mix, both sides. And then patch the big holes in the middle.
Okay.
For now. Because hot mix lasts longer than cold mix.
sure. Finally got the bulk plant, or the,
Yes.
the plants open now.
Yes. So that's my plan for next Wednesday.
Good deal.
And the weather forecast looks pretty decent
I'm
at this
hoping.
point.
I'm hoping.
We thought about doing it today. I guess it was a good thing we didn't do it today because we did end up with rain.
Yes, we did.
Then asphalt will not stick in the rain. So, yeah, so it was good we didn't do it today.
Will we be posting this somewhere to let the residents know ahead of time?
Yeah, I'm hoping it'll make the Tuesday paper. That's a nod yes. And then, that'll be, the city's going to fix Fraser Street, or, make a repair as good as we can. So we're excited about that, making that. And the asphalt plant now is open in Cloverdale, which is also because by the time we get back from Terre Haute, it's starting to cool off, so it's so much better now that Cloverdale's finally open, so. However, the official detour
There you go.
will still be open. And, we still encourage everybody to take the official detour. In fact, I've talked to a couple people today that were in, that Fraser and North College is not the official detour, and that, that NDOT is not paying for any of that work on that side of the street. They are only responsible for the Madison side, so.
I am going to try to take hot mix over there too.
Yeah, we're going to fix some potholes when he has the hot mix also, so,
So we'll be pretty busy those next couple days, because I gotta get everything ready and lined up.
yeah. And we've got the site marked now,
Yep,
so.
everything should be ready.
Everybody will be ready, so. Yeah, we're excited about that.
Really wanted to encourage people it doesn't take much longer to take the official detour than it does to take this unofficial detour. It's a much nicer way.
It's just a matter of 2 minutes, actually. There has been several folks that have timed it, and it's 2 minutes longer to go the nice smoother route than to come through the bumpy route.
Yeah. Not to mention if you come across a triaxle or larger truck
Yeah.
at the railroad.
Yeah.
Or really, it's
something gotta
almost
give.
hard, it's almost hard to even
Or
pass with
crossing.
another car, a bigger pickup truck.
Yeah.
We can't. Right.
Yeah, right.
And that is why NDOT would not even consider that as the official detour. Because of that it's only a lane railroad track, so.
Yep.
Well, thank you and the guys in advance for getting that.
Appreciate it.
Getting beat up pretty well.
We're gonna try our hardest to, hopefully everything goes as smooth as planned. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's probably best to take care of it now than wait until the construction's over with in 3 or 4 months. To live with it for that long.
So I'm tired of putting gravel in there.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
It just washes away.
Every day. You can't tell you did it, several hours later. Can you update us on, are we done with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you update us as far as the Anderson Street and the
is on.
four-way stops and what have you?
That is on my list. I did not know this was a completely four-way now, so I called the locate in for the stop sign.
Okay,
That we're trying to we made our first round and we're trying to get caught up on our mowing. Because every time you turn around, you gotta mow.
Yep.
So as soon as we get caught up, we'll be over there and,
I noticed you put the signs up this week for,
Yep.
make it one way.
yes.
Because I think I was through there just over the weekend and it was still, nothing had changed, so.
And then, I think Jason's got my water tank. He's prayer washing because we need the water for the drill.
To drill the, yeah.
And I'll call the locate in on that tomorrow. And the locates are taking longer than normal. Like it's supposed to be 3 days, but the gas company's been pushing us back for 2 weeks here and there. So, I mean, we're trying
Okay.
to do our best.
Yeah, you don't want to hit a gas line. It's bad enough hitting a water line out
As
there.
soon as we get that stuff back and we get this out here, we'll be over there.
Okay, and
Is there any kind of prognostication as to when they're going to line the street south of the courthouse so that we don't have people parking parallel and people
Oh.
parking at an angle? and-
That is not going to happen until they get the final coat down.
yeah,
Okay,
And because, there's still about this much. A final coat will go down, and that will be sometime in July
okay.
as they get close to the end.
maybe August.
Well,
We're just hoping it's not December.
no, it's not going to be.
know.
I talked to him today, and now that we're talking about roads, I talked to him today, and they are still on schedule, even with the rain, and they're ready to they're starting to tie the water line over down here at the railroad track, so.
Okay. What about Mayor filled me in earlier today, but just for a public session and everything else, what about the striping on Franklin Street?
We are trying to get a hold of a contract that we used to use to go around and we're gonna get a quote on striping this street and a couple main ones.
Okay.
We're trying to get a hold of them.
Okay, that'd be that reflective,
Yeah, because we could probably do it, but it'd be a lot better if we
Oh, yeah.
have somebody come in
Yeah.
here and measure it out and make sure it was center all the way.
yeah, and then are you going to paint the orange on the curbs on the north side?
We can.
Okay. Can you also, at these two intersections, we made four-way stops, can you put the white stop bars down on
Yes.
the
yes,
new?
yes. So all these are staying.
Good,
We will actually be putting in, going through the city and putting in a lot of crosswalk stripe that has washed away. We haven't started it because honestly, the pavement has not been dry enough for it to last, so.
Yep.
Once we get into I think it's also temperature.
Yes.
It has to be kind of warm and dry, so, but crosswalks and all kinds of things are going to get spruced up throughout
good.
the summer. So they've got a good stock of crosswalks and so you'll see a lot of
As soon as the weather.
updates when the weather,
gets back to normal, it'd be nice.
yeah. So,
Very good.
okay. You want any other you have any questions for the other department
Thank you,
heads?
sir.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Andrew.
Anybody else? Oh. So basically, roads, like I said, US 231 is on schedule. They are working every day down here on Washington Street, so they're working to get that water line in. There has been some issues with Center Point. They did not mark where their service lines are on the utility coordination. So, yeah, there's some issues with that, and we're trying to work through that. They're trying to get that work through with Centerline to keep work going. So that's why there was a little bump on the gas line the other day, because they are not in the spots they're supposed to be in, so.
It was a gas line? It was a water line, wasn't it?
Gas line. We had a gas line and a water line.
Oh, okay, so I saw the water.
Yeah,
Whew, gas too,
gas too, because the service lines are not
where they're supposed to be.
where they're supposed to be. They're, yeah, they're barely under the pavement. It's an interesting situation, so they're trying to see if CenterPoint will come out and move their gas lines to the proper depth they're supposed to be. So, if we have, so I'm hoping that CenterPoint, I guess it's CenterPoint, will not be our new frontier this time.
Yes.
So, hopefully not. But other than that, we've met with sidewalk bids, are going to be coming in and we will be going out for bid with our streets. And next week or so, they're delivering the guardrails for Auburn Pond?
They have not given me a date.
Okay, well, at least they're asking about the they've contacted us, so they're probably coming very soon, so. We're actually just going to have them drop them at the church out there.
Okay,
And then.
At Houck Road?
At Houck Road. Jason gave us permission. And then we will get them put up where they need to be and coordinate that around. I expect the street work to start here real soon, the repaving and everything in the city soon too, so.
Okay, very good.
So,
Way ahead of schedule.
we're trying to be.
Yes.
And then, yeah, we'll have more, you know, we got a lot of work to do on a lot of streets, so we're trying to make some improvements, so. It was a hard winter on streets, but those are the main things. Comprehensive plans come along. Were some of you at the housing symposium? Were you, any? Yeah, it went really well, so we're starting on the next steps on that, so, yeah, just moving along, so.
Can you give us an update on Washington Street other than the gas line, water line?
It's, other than that, they're getting the water line on. You know, the goal is that they have to be, in the contract, they have to be done down in front of the school, so they can kind of have the same now. The schedule did read that they were planning on having the whole thing, but we're seeing a little bit of delay with the gas line, so we'll kind of see how that all plays out. But they have to be done by November. So.
Hopefully, I think the target was before the school.
The target was that the whole street would be done before school, but, you know, things come up and.
So is the gas, as far as we know, is the gas line this problem, just not very far? Is it the entire length of the street?
They told me this morning, I went down there just to see what was going on. They said that it wasn't as bad after they got down the street a little way. So I'm hoping it's just maybe the few houses up at the top. As they keep going, they're in the right spot. So.
Well, it certainly wouldn't have been difficult for them to dig through there because, you know, as soon as they took off the top of the layer of asphalt, they're in
Dirt, clay.
dirt.
It's bad.
Saturday,
Yeah.
you know, it just shows how the street was built on dirt. I didn't see the aggregate at all.
It's probably amazing we could hold as much asphalt on it as we did, so. But I think the one-way traffic's working pretty well, and if somebody goes down it and they can't go through, they get them through, and, you know, they've been really easy to talk to, and if there's been any problems, we just go down there and talk to them, and they take care of it right away, so they've been good contractors so far.
And it's been no disruption at all, I would assume, for the school, since they're working on the west end to
Right.
start with.
The only disruption is that they
The buses.
can't get all the way through,
Yeah.
but I think the first couple of days was rough, but I think now they're working
Adjusting.
out. Chris, you were down there a couple of days in the beginning. I think people are getting used to it. Yeah, so. He went down a couple of days to help direct traffic through and keep people moving along and things like that, so.
Okay,
But that'll be their new way of doing it, I believe, so there's no more drop-off on Washington Street.
okay.
No more drop-off on Washington.
Uphill both ways. That's right.
Yeah, so, yeah, it seems to be going, you know, pretty well. I think they're working with people over on the street, and so. Anything else? Kayla?
This is my last reminder. Get your heavy trash ready. Heavy trash day Saturday, 8 to noon. Republic Services, come visit us. Saturday is also, the yard waste site is open for Greencastle trash customers, as well as Talks Away Day at Area 30. So a good busy Mother's Day weekend.
Every mom wants their house clean.
Get the house all cleaned.
There you go, you can dispose of it free.
Yep.
Correlation there.
That's our love language.
Maybe, maybe not.
Cleaning.
I think that's all I have.
Okay, Vince, you want to start?
Sure. First thing, I want to give a shout out to Chief Frank and the new fire department report with the kind of data-driven graphs and numbers. I think it was really easy to follow along, and I really appreciate that. Next up, the $40,000 child care grant that we applied for with economic development. We are currently talking to some consultants to find someone to bring on board per what we have said in our application. We've had a scope proposed by one, but we're still reaching out to two others, and we're open to anyone proposing a scope within that budget. I just want another reminder that I think there's 3 submissions for my submission pool for the edit fund, so if the banner could push that out some more, I'd love to have more. Surprisingly enough, 3 different people and 3 parks-related submissions so far. And then last month, right after council, I attended the FDIC with Chief Frank, the large fire department conference, and it was a really cool experience. My favorite thing that I just wish we could justify buying was a airplane that you sit in, and it flies like a drone, and it's light enough that you don't need a pilot's license. So they're using it for first responders to get to places quicker. So you run an EMS, you run a fire truck, but someone jumps in this drone and flies to the location to start CPR, whatever it is. Really cool. Unfortunately, it's $200,000. But it was really interesting.
You could trade it in your bicycle.
We need a few more $1,000. But it was interesting. I don't know what the name is, but I encourage you to Google it and see how cool it is.
Another plaything.
That might be cheaper than a fire truck, though.
Sounds like it.
You can't put any water in it, though.
No water.
Easier to park.
It's probably more of a county thing. It'd be good for the county. And that's all I have.
Dave?
I just want to recognize Blaine Rao, new planner, and Scott Zimmerman. They've been doing a lot of stuff. You don't really see a lot of it because they're kind of like ducks. It's calm above the surface, but feet are moving. And driving around town, grass is of course growing. You can watch it grow right now. But there's a lot of houses that haven't been mowed yet that, you know, my sense is realtor, they're empty and vacant. And I kind of watch foreclosures and things like that, and I haven't seen them come through. But, you know, we're working on unsafe structures and some of these difficult structures in town. You know, now we just see more and more of this kind of stuff. And, you know, we also as a broker, I worry a little bit about the market and higher prices, for higher home prices, higher interest rates. It's going to end up knocking a few folks out in the market. And I just think it's something we need to keep an eye on. But I think these guys are doing a great job, and I just wanted to recognize that.
Is that it?
That's all.
Okay.
That was a good analogy, the ducks on the water.
Just one quick thing, went to the park board meeting last night, and Jason and Ashley have the pool, the splash park, the concessions, everything is on target to open at the end of the month, and I think it's going to be a great pool season this summer. They are taking reservations for private parties, and just appears they are very much on top of things.
And if you didn't know, there is a window that you can go to the concession stand without getting into the pool.
That's great.
Yeah, if you're in the park and need a little snacky snack.
And they have a whole new menu, what'd you say, pulled pork and all kinds of fancy stuff, right, Jason? Yep.
Some new fancy items.
Yeah.
Caviar.
And I got something to add to your report. States that I learned at lunch today that we're serving meals at Spark.
Yes.
The school's coordinating that?
Yes,
That's-
Ashley has been working with the schools to provide meals to the students that attend Spark, which is something that hasn't happened in the past. And so I know I don't want to say we, because Ashley's been working on it, but I think it's a great addition to the program
Yeah.
to provide that for the kids.
That's a great deal.
And the pool opens 2 weeks from Saturday, is that right? Memorial Day, not on the weekend.
Because of graduations. all the
Oh, okay,
graduations on the
okay.
weekend.
2 weeks from Monday.
Yeah.
I just want to congratulate Sergeant Nick Eastham on 17
Yeah.
years on the force. I remember when he started. I don't know, they just went fast. So, yeah, will you tell him congratulations from us? Thank you. That's all I got.
Okay. Tomorrow, I'm going to go make the presentation of the Micro Kiki City Council Scholarship at Greencastle High School at 1 o'clock, so, and have a very good recipient this year, so.
And just to add to that, it's called the City Council Micro Kiki Scholarship, but both Michaela and the mayor are contributing, so even though, it's more of a City Hall type of scholarship.
City administration, yeah.
Anything else?
I gave my report as part of state.
He jumped the line.
Okay, is there anything else? Okay, I guess you guys can go ahead and be dismissed.
Plenty of daylight left.
Department, except for Blaine. He's up here in a few minutes. The next item on the agenda is approval of minutes for April 10th, 2025.
Here somewhere. Okay.
A motion. You make the motion, I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed or abstain? Okay. Approval of claims. I think you're up, Mark.
Okay. So, we have direct payables of $101,304.47, regular payables of $166,208.85, payroll of $617,908.97, and pensions of $21,198.07 for a grand total of $906,620.36 for the month. And I just want to acknowledge that several times I've made the comment, and I've made it again today when I met with Michaela, about how the numbers for direct payables and regular payables have consistently been much lower than what they seem to be in the past. We'd have some months that were $500,000 and $600,000 and $700,000, especially on the direct payables. But things have really been, everybody's operating very frugally, I'd say.
Yep.
So I just want to acknowledge that. So on the direct payables, we've got $8,595 to AM Structure Point, which is for interim sign ordinance, billings from October of '24 through January of '25, plus $3,600 for the Greencastle Comprehensive Plan from March of '25. They're kind of going back in time. And then also we have $13,662.50 from Fleiss and Vandenbrink for Todson Drive Sewer Project Engineering from, and this, talking about going, no, I'm sorry. So this is from February 23rd through March 29th of 25. When I saw it February 23, I thought, go back to 23. No. It was very specific on the dates on that. Those were the only two that were out. I mean, we got, card services. I looked through all those. There's nothing out of the ordinary there. Nobody's abusing the credit cards. They're just using them for normal expenditures. And then we've got Centerpoint. We got 23 Duke bills. Gordon Flesh had a bunch of credits memos this time. We got our MetroNet and our Republic Trash. Those are all just ordinary city services and utilities and what have you. Then on the regular payables, we've got, let's see, Eco Landscape for $2,400. The services to replace trees on Northwood Boulevard and Greenwood Avenue. $12,480 to Ed Shuck. I think it's Quality Electric or something like that for the electrical hookup for the pool filter system. $57,233.75 to Fishbeck. Now this goes back some. January and February of '25, general engineering for the city. And I did ask Michaela, and she said that they had built it once before, and it was built at an incorrect rate, a higher rate than what it should have been, non-contract rate, so that's why it's kind of fallen behind. But she assured me that it was not anything that would have been paid before. We got $2,919 for yellow paint. Might use some of it out here on the north side of Franklin Street.
It'll be coming.
Lawn maintenance from Green Street Residential Maintenance for $3,115 from April, so it's that time of year. David mentioned about lawn mowing, so there we go. There, all the city, the things we've contracted out. We got Hendershots. We always have quite a bit with Hendershots. There were 4 police vehicles that had service done on this month for $3,137. We bought a push mower and a weed eater for the downtown area for $650 from Humphreys. Had a Tahoe deductible paid of $1,000 for an accident on a police Interceptor. No, Tahoe. I already said that. The JTN, we installed a canine cage, and here's the Interceptor, in the 2020 Interceptor for the police, for our canine, obviously. $9,864 to Midwest Electric for signal maintenance. This is going back some. August of 23, October of 23, June of 24, March of 25, plus $7,708 of that total was annual maintenance agreement. So we had about $500 or more dollars in those 4 months there, where they did additional signal maintenance that was not covered, I guess, by the maintenance agreement. Nelson's uniform, we had 16 police concealable body armor vests that totaled $18,519.20. Passport Labs, monthly fees, going back again, May of 24, July of 24, August of 24, September of 24, and March of 25. That's for the police department. $23,850 to Safeguard, and that's for a 4-foot chain link fence at Big Walnut Sports Park for the soccer fields. It didn't say how long the fence was, but I assume it's long enough to get around the soccer fields.
It's really long. It starts off and goes all the way to the road, all the way around, but that's to protect kids from running out.
Right.
And getting in the road. And then we also put a little bit of a link over by the playground, so kids just can't dart off of that. So,
Right. Okay.
yeah, it was really, they did a great job. In fact, it's a much heavier gauge fence than what we usually get put in.
Okay.
For a really good price.
Okay. I'm almost done. Stick with me here. $3,332 to Stello Products, 13 street signs, and a whole bunch of posts and anchors. I think there was 100 posts, so that's probably some of what we've been talking about
Yep.
with Andrew just here 15, 20 minutes ago. And the last one is Tyler Technology, $5,723, annual subscription for time and attendance for the year of June of 25 through May of 26. So at least that one's billed in the future, not a bunch of bills in the past. So those are the high points of the claims, and I would move for approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody need to abstain? Abstain. Okay. One thing I'll add to that, since we're talking about claims and all that, we are going to be starting the budget process here in the next couple of weeks.
Ooh.
So the department heads have been asked to start preparing 5-year plans and so forth. I'm hoping at the 1st of June. I have been to several trainings, mayor's conferences and stuff about what is happening with SB1 and the local income tax. So I'm hoping here at the 1st of June that we might schedule a council workshop, and I will go through and kind of update you how that is going to affect the city and the city budget. And so Michaela and I would have that to kind of kick off the budget. And then when we might propose doing things a little differently, everybody kind of has a understanding the impact of what SB1 and the lit part, the House bill will have on the city of Greencastle. So I've been to several things, so, because it is going to have a pretty major impact on us. We have no old business, so we're going to move into new business. Ordinance number, do we have an ordinance number?
I didn't put the number.
Okay. Show fund. dash, yeah. An ordinance amending the text of the City of Greencastle zoning ordinance. Now, nobody wants me to read these,
Sure we do.
all these
No, we
pages.
don't. No, we
Well,
don't.
we might be out of here by tomorrow morning.
Let's take a vote
So
on that.
I'm going to have Blaine come up, and between Blaine, Dave, and Lori, they can probably inform us what this ordinance is talking about, so.
I want to first thank Dave for giving us the heads up that, that these were changes that were because of the loss of the 2-mile fringe, and there's a lot to read here. So you gave us the Cliff Notes version or whatever of why these were,
Oh,
why
it'll
this
be
is
ordinance
here.
number 3. Ordinance number 3.
3.
Yeah, so not to alarm any of the council, but really the bulk of it does have to do with the fact that we no longer have the 2-mile fringe. And to put it simply, Supreme Court ruling that really dates back to 2015, but the most recent, I think, was 2022. It was Austin v. Reagan, but it's content neutrality as it relates to sign regulations. So necessary, there's a lot of content within the zoning ordinance that it's affecting, but it's very common sense changes. I don't think anybody is going to be particularly surprised at any of the changes, but we had to go through and basically just cross out any reference to 2-mile fringe, slightly modify the membership of the BZA due to that, and sift through everything to make sure it complies with the Supreme Court ruling. Aside from that, we did make one change to temporary signage. We have decided to forego a permit for temporary signs, and I think based on my prior experience elsewhere, probably a good idea simply for the sake of internal efficiency. When it comes to temporary signage and proliferation, when we think of excessive signage, I have not in my experience seen situations where it more or less gets out of hand, because we still have tools within our tool belt to address those things. But furthermore, we had to go into the last section of the zoning ordinance into definitions and modify a few things there as well. But again, no big surprises. And I do have David Baird with American Structure Point. He's on standby right now if we do need to get into any hard discussion of specifics.
We also kind of, on the ADUs, accessory dwelling units, kind of referred to basically over a business. And it struck the term business and just went to non-residential property. So you could have, light industrial or, special use, who knows what. You could still theoretically apply to build an accessory dwelling unit on that property. So that's getting to be a really major topic of providing more housing by doing ADUs, which would be like carriage houses over a garage in the back, or something, an industrial site or a commercial site that you could theoretically build a house somehow. It typically has been over businesses for us, like over Penny's, over the old J.C. Murphy, but it just kind of delimited that, and that's something we're probably going to end up facing at some point. And again, it was just that David Baird basically was pointing out some of the things, and you see a lot of things stricken. You'll see a lot of blue lines through a lot of stuff. And he didn't want to carry that over until the new ordinance was adopted, because then we would be, adopting things or maybe declining things that under the new ordinance would have become moot. So a lot of that language was struck as well, just so we wouldn't have to even be dealing with it and then we're stuck with it, or Worse, a resident is stuck with getting denied over something that may be on the future ordinance it wouldn't. So it's a house cleaning thing, and I think we probably had unanimous vote in Plan Commission. And we did have some pretty good discussion too, so it wasn't like, oh, okay, no.
Yeah, I'm thrilled about it. I've been talking about this for a long time, so I'm really happy to see these changes. Some communities, right after the Reed decision came out, made changes, and others waited because they knew it was going to be then better defined by subsequent cases, some of the things that were said. But the basic gist of the Reed decision that was then modified or later defined in greater detail by the other decision is that if you have, all signs have to be content neutral. That means, and we had a lot of things in here where it was not content neutral. So if you have to read it to decide whether or not it's allowed, then it's content based. If you're saying we'll allow contracts for instance, or we'll allow yard signs for contractors, for realtors, but not for anybody else, then that would be an issue. So it has to be the same law applied to everyone. So things like you can have laws that say the size of the sign can be limited, the number of signs per location can be limited, things like that. But whether or not they're lit, things, as long as you apply the same rules to everyone. So that's what this does, and so I'm really happy to have it before you tonight.
Yeah, and I think Lori here is keen on constitutionality, so if she sleeps better at night, I think I can sleep better at night too.
Really happy about it.
I think our sign ordinance has probably been our biggest thorn in our side and causes the most problems, I think. A fair amount of problems, at least. Maybe not the most, but a fair amount.
Hopefully this and the new ordinance will streamline some of that.
Right.
Yeah, we've had discussions with people about murals, so we have definitions that are a little more clear, and so there have been a lot of little issues that have popped up in the last 20 years since we did the ordinance, and so this addresses a lot of the things that are outstanding. So we don't have to do it when we redo our whole UDO in the future, like Dave said, which is coming.
Good.
But, and the things that'll be coming in the next round are things such as how many of those yard signs can you have? And the questions that I just
And the
mentioned.
size
And the
and all.
size, and which zoning district will allow, and which will allow scrolling, and which will, probably none. But lighted signs, or, that kind of thing. That will be in the UDO when you see that next, but.
Yeah, and that's more important, honestly. The whole entire point of regulating signage, at least the primary one, would, in my opinion, be to prevent excessive proliferation of signage. It can be a blight on the community if you're constantly overloaded with sensory of just advertising everywhere for any one thing or the other. So,
And it can be a safety.
yeah, and a safety issue as well. So I think it's very common sense that the country has kind of moved in this direction.
Lori, would there be any major issues if this was tabled a month? It's really a lot, and I'd like to consume it all, maybe even ask more questions before voting.
Well,
It requires 2 readings.
2 readings.
Well, I know. I guess I'll likely abstain at the.
I would like it to be changed as soon as possible, but that's just my position.
I didn't even know this was coming down the pipeline until this week. This week's the first I've been told. I've been doing my best to read as much as I can, but I generally just don't like to vote on something before I can read it.
I understand that. For sure.
It's not uploaded in editable format, so you can't index search it.
Yeah, that's your
Well, I
call.
would move that we would adopt it on first reading, and then
mean, has anyone had a chance to read it all? Has anyone had a chance to read it all? I know you have, but.
Kathy has.
I have spent 2 days reading this, yes. I am highlighted everywhere.
She had to get to a second highlighter.
I had to text you, what is this?
Yeah, and if you want to table it next month, I don't know, but I don't, because it is a true reading thing, I think we can go ahead. We need to stop, we'll stop this. Everybody should have an opportunity to digest, for sure, in the next 30 days should give us all the opportunity to do that. So I would make the motion to adopt ordinance 2025-3.
Five.
Three.
5.
Five?
Yeah, no, she's changed it to 5.
Oh,
I swear.
Sorry.
oh, okay.
Started out as 3
It did.
It did.
Changed.
on first reading.
Don't wait any longer, it might become 6.
No, that's 5. That's 5.
2025 dash, I will second. Also, because this meeting is so early this month, we have a full 5 weeks till next month's meeting, so we got 35 days, so.
And I'm
Even
available-
5 days longer.
I'm available anytime to talk to anybody about anything that you'd have a question about. I have a pretty long background with this document, so.
So we have a motion and a second and a happy city attorney. Because so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Or okay, Vince
It
is
was a
opposed.
unanimous decision by Plan Commission.
Okay.
And they met on it a couple of times,
Yeah,
right? We had 2 meetings on plant.
yeah.
We had just a lot of
No, we did not. Don't say that. That is not true.
We did not, so. Okay. I believe that is everything on the agenda, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I so move.
Okay, we have a motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you all.
Does everybody sign the claims? That's the only thing we have for you.
That's nice.
Yeah. We'll see you tomorrow at 1.
I hope people don't go,
So I applied for it through economic development. In our application, we said we'd spend it on
because they don't have.
getting a
So
consultant.
we should be able to use the excess on room and board and stuff like that.
It's not to fund